that though for the afternoon rundown poll. So Apple leading the way with 43%. Coinbase, I don't want to say a distant second, but it's there at 27%. Coinbase getting shellacked today. Let me look at where it's at right now. 7%. I think it was worse.
Dang.
Yeah, it was certainly worse, Joseph. We're at 319. We were at 314.50 at the low, so it was definitely a lot worse than that. Oracle, guys, does report after the bell. Is it you or Neil? It's Neil and Adara today on the market recap show. Make sure to check that out. They're gonna cover that for you. Obviously, ORCL, Larry Ellison and his boys is gonna tell you exactly how they did on the quarter, and if it was anything like last quarter, well then it will be good because I think he cracked top 5 last time. I'm pretty sure in terms of wasn't it him? To crack top 5 for richest people in the world?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he did.
Larry Ellison last time, yeah, on the pop on the earnings there for Oracle. Fact check me, chat. In any event, Oracle 13th in distant place. In any event, even if it doesn't make it onto the afternoon rundown, doesn't mean you shouldn't be joining the Neil and the Human Algo at the afternoon or the market recap show. So make sure you're checking that out with them. Let's see how we're doing here on Tiger. So it's definitely dancing with $8, and this is what I was concerned about.
Sitting number 3. Larry Ellison.
He is, eh?
Number 3.
Yeah, the dude's printing.
Yeah,
so it's obviously the Musk one. Elon.
Then Jeff.
And then Bezos.
And then
Bezos,
Larry.
as most people say now.
And then
Larry Ellison, eh?
Yeah,
and then the Zuck
and then
train.
The Zuck, baby.
All right. And then Bernard, no, yeah, I don't.
And family, yeah. Warren Buffett in 6th there. And
Larry, everybody, they're all Americans.
Steve Ballmer.
Steve Ballmer. Dude, have you seen the what's it called? The Clippers' new stadium?
Is it nasty? Yeah.
Ooh.
I know when did they start? They started building that a while ago, didn't they?
I think they're using it now.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
I think it was when Kawhi was headed there. I think shortly after Kawhi headed there. So, yeah.
I like Steve Ballmer's energy. Yeah, say what you might about what him and how he mismanaged Microsoft, how he missed mobile. He made a lot of mistakes. I'm not gonna try to defend him there at all. But I just like his energy, man. The dude, look, he's always on something. But I know he's not. But it always feels like he is. Get it, Adara. What? I've never seen
it. Yeah, do it again. Do it again.
I've seen him with Bill Gates during the 90s when they were releasing Microsoft, and all I saw was sweat everywhere. The whole body was just sweat. And you see Bill Gates, he's all right? And then Steve Ballmer's like, he's going at it, get it, casino, man. So I don't know. I like his energy, but obviously he did mismanage Microsoft, no doubt about that. How do you miss mobile, bro? Mobile was internet, obviously internet during the dot-com boom in the late 2000s, the late 90s, early 2000s, and then you had mobile in the late single to, what do you call it, 2000s, 2010s, right? And now we're getting the AI boom. And Microsoft missed out on one of those 3, so... Yeah,
I think it's doing just fine now, though.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It might be okay.
They've recovered.
It might be okay.
They recovered somewhat on that one there, guys.
That awkward billionaire dance is the best type of dance. It's the I don't care because I have a lot of money dance. That's what it is, right?
Elon's the best.
Yeah. Yeah. We all saw Elon's body move in a way that we didn't know bodies could move during the Trump rallies.
Dude, that was absurd. The guy's like, why is he trying to jump over the plexiglass? What are you trying to do? Get sniped?
And he comes out with a shirt, Occupy Mars.
Yeah, that's his favorite shirt. He wears it on Rogan.
I love it. Shout out to Elon, man. He's doing the absolute most in a sick way. So shout out to Elon Musk there. All right, guys, I see QSI. QSI is making a big move. This is the one we were involved earlier with, Ram, but we only had baby shares on this one. It does dip in, guys. Below an area I wouldn't have earmarked for support. I didn't have this 190 area, 188 area support in any event. It is now putting in higher highs and higher lows. It took $2. It's doing that curling effect. It's coming into those area resistance level. 205 is, I will submit to you, a major resistance level there because the closing prints are all around 205. Sure, the wicks go into 210. 213, but look at those closing prints. They're all in and around this level. So I submit to you, if we get past here and close above this level on a closing basis, this could be a nice move to take out the high of the day here on. I'm talking about QSI, up a respectable 54%. Good look there. Tiger, we just wet our beak on some more profits there, above $8, and I'm still in the money, about 15, 20 pennies on GELS, but looking for this one to break through that 360 top. I am concerned, though, about GELS. It's putting incrementally lower highs on the 5. So 359 top, and then 358, and now 356. So a little concerning there that we're selling it at lower levels every single attempt, or on every single attempt. So keep tabs on that. Let's look at the mag over here, see what the situation is. Looks like it was a great short for whoever took that short off 247 on AAPL, as it's now putting in lower lows and lower highs. I got smoked on this, and I added several times into this, but it did not allow me to get short. I should have probably gauged the area of resistance a bit better rather than trying to build in a position based on my own, risk reward analysis on the day, and should have been definitely gauging that 247 or something more appropriate as a support level, guys, on Apple. So I think I executed poorly on that. Adair, what do you got?
Just wanted to let you guys know here, we have Disney getting a nice little volume pop to the upside. It's worth noting here that its CFO is currently speaking at that UBS Global Media and Communications Conference. The last comments I'm seeing coming from Disney's CFO are basically that the parks, or the company's park segment, is attempting to keep prices at, quote, an accessible level. I'm not sure if that's the reason for this volume spike, but I was about ready to throw, and then I saw the spike come up for DIS. So just be aware, we do have the company's CFO speaking right now, and if I see any other headlines, I will let you know. We just actually have one coming in right now. Apparently, the company has built some negative into its parks forecast, reflecting the open of Universal's Epic universe. So basically saying they've kind of factored or priced in any potential impacts of the Universal Park into their guidance already for their parks. So DIS here with some parks-related updates. That UBS Global Media Conference also had some moves coming in here from T-Mobile. We know there were comments from the CEO warning here about risk with the back half of Q4. Comcast also moved lower on this conference. Now, if you're looking for names to watch with this conference tomorrow, we have tickers like American Tower here. AMT will be on watch. Netflix will be on watch, attending a UBS conference, as will names here like Charter and Warner Brothers. So this UBS Global Media and Communications Conference is definitely one to be aware of, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, I got, Joe, I got some 117.25 $5 calls on plug power. Looking at the gap starting around. Yeah, exactly. No, that's no, but no. In all reality, I mean that's not a company that you want to be getting involved with. In my opinion, anyways, I think Sharif jumped on that really. I
did. I lost $1 a share, bro. Did you? Yeah. A bigger swing trade, I ended up losing $1.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, it's not looking good for plug power on that front. But we took a little bit more off the Tesla top here, guys. So we're enjoying this trade. It is starting to recover, just hovering right below VWAP. So I don't know if we're going to be able to extend and go north of it. But one thing that is really working out right now, my guys, is our SPY trade. So, I mean, I thought I was going to be on the wrong side of this again by choosing the long. You went the short. So I'm like, okay, am I going to be wrong again? But sure enough, we had the inability to create any new lows on the SPY, guys. And we are now trading higher, up to 606.18. So, I mean, we only got 14 minutes left or so before we close it down, but 607.28, it's going to be a push. But if volume steps in and if Tesla decides that it wants to continue to move higher and really squeeze, then I think that we can hit those targets for sure.
100%, Joseph, we could. Oh, why is this saying video unavailable? It's so weird. All right. I'm finally on the right side of the trade over here with GELS, and we're about to get printed here at 95s. So this was a bigger one here. I was really happy with this trade. Thank you, Joseph. Bang! There we go. We'll take out that. So we still have a couple of more outs on this one, guys. We did get in at 3 1/3. I would have loved to get in to have gotten in at 320 because that was where I earmarked support. Look at this whole area of rejection on GELS. We were rejecting from 1240 till we took out that level at 115 at that $3.20 area. I did get in a little bit higher than that, but we'll talk more about that once we get back from Adara at the big desk.
Sorry for the interruption here. We have more news coming from Disney CFO Hugh F. Johnston, who is attending that UBS Global Media and Communications Conference. Earlier, we talked about how they had basically tried to price in any negative impact on their parks from the Universal opening. Now we get a nice push to the upside here after Hugh Johnston basically said the company is forecasting a pricing increase for its streaming service in the future. So not saying when this will be, but just saying that they are expecting some pricing increase in the future. Keep an eye on DIS with that Disney Plus pricing forecast, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, that's a hell of a move up there, Adair. So this thing is really going right now, and we all know that that's going to be really important for them because that directly affects margins, which affects profitability, earnings per share is what I'm talking about. DIS obviously needs a bit of a tailwind. It's well off the highs, but at least it reclaimed that $100 area. We saw last time around their parks department wasn't doing as well. That had been kind of carrying the load for them, carrying the burden of the company for a while streaming didn't do that well. Legacy media wasn't doing that well. They're looking to divest ESPN, I don't think they're actually going to divest ESPN. Sorry, some of their legacy media assets like ABC, I think they're going to hold on to ESPN and go through ESPN Plus. In any event, you guys know they've been having a lot of trouble, so nice to hear they're going to be able to actually add on some dollars and help those margins out. So we'll see what Big Bobby I can cook up over there down in Orlando or wherever the hell they have their headquarters. So Disney in play, and now it's found its way onto my trading screen. I don't have any specific areas of resistance or support on it. So let's have a look over here on, I just have to look at GELS for a sec. All right, fantastic, man. I couldn't be more happy with how I traded this. I got stopped out for the remaining amount for a tiny bit through the break of 320. If this holds 320, I'm going to get right back in, though. So let's watch how this trades. It did dip into 310, so I was happy with how I took it out. But if it reclaims that 320 level on a closing basis and doesn't continue to bleed, I don't need to be first, but I'll get back into GELS. Let's go back now and finish our analysis on Disney. DIS. Let's start with the daily as we always do. Yeah, still not beyond that area crest that we put in April of this year. So we're not even at 52-week highs. We got to take out that 123.66. It was a quadruple top there on DIS. We're looking awfully bull flaggish though, or so. Like in this little recent price action. This was earnings back on November 14th. You can see that by the volume and the subsequent price action. We haven't been giving up the ghost, but we haven't been rocketing up either. So today, maybe a news catalyst that allows us to break above that 120 level, which we haven't been above since giving it up there in what looks like to be like spring or so. So good luck for Disney. Let's flip to the 5 and see what areas of support or resistance. Okay, so we just got right into it there. Let's just call it what it is. This is rejecting off VWAP right now. This is only a one candle look. 115 and a fifth, in my opinion, is where VWAP is, or that's where I see it. It did, let me just update this because I don't know why it's not updating. Allow me a second. Yeah, now we get live price updates on this. So it's at 115 right now. It did reject VWAP, but that's a big move up there. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 candle move up all the way into VWAP, finding local resistance at VWAP. You can play this any way you want. I mean, there is this area over here that you could say, okay, well, 115 could be a nice area we bounce off because of this two candle hold up at 145 and 150, or you could wait for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. So you could wait for that 115 a third, 115 a quarter break to prove to you that the continuation is still there. I'm personally not going to trade Disney with about 8 minutes left on the show. It's still down 1.5%, but a good move up there on news that they will be raising prices, which obviously, again, guys, affects margins, which is really important for earnings. So we'll keep tabs on that. What's my friend Tiger doing? We're still dancing over here with 805, 804. I'm going to wet my beak on some more profits as there is not much time left on the show. Joseph, What do you got over there, brother?
Yeah, we're just in some TSLL still, my friend. Our RDDT didn't work out as well as we liked, but I mean, hey, we're working out on TSLL here, so this is really working. Tesla really recovering. The SPY is holding now above VWAP, and the Q's just below VWAP here on that front, guys. But GME is really, really weak. I know a lot of people in the chat are talking about GME. We're starting to break some new levels. I don't know, man. From a daily perspective, I just don't see this stock going back up to these levels. I don't know. The short float, what happened with the first time when it did those massive moves and squeezed, the short float was through the roof, right? So when you hit 120, this is why you would have that ability to squeeze, is the short float was so large, so big. This isn't the case in this instance, okay, guys? So just keep that in mind. In order for this to squeeze back to those levels, I don't know if it can. It's just memey. You get those odd day pops, etc. But again, to get all the way back up there, I just don't know if this stock is strong enough to do that, especially fundamentally. We all know it's depleting stock. The company isn't doing too well. A lot of people are just buying their games online now. So just keep that in mind. It's kind of a shift on that front. So yeah, Kyle, I see you taking some 0DTE SPX short there. Yeah. Good luck. I mean, the chat's long, man, and we're working on that long, so we're printing off it so far. Let's see where our entry price was again on this front. So around 605.39. So yeah, just under $1 in the money on that front. So guys, yeah, keep show me what you're looking at in the chat, all right? Because I'm just holding on to this position. I don't have too much going on. We don't have much time, only 6 minutes left. So as a matter of fact, because I know at 1:55 we usually close the trade down, so we're going to probably do that in a matter of a couple of seconds, 5 seconds, and then we'll document this one as a unit, guys. So yeah, would NVDA? Yeah, we'll take a look at NVDA. I haven't been keeping my eyes on the semis too much the past little bit, just because I don't like the way that they're trading. I'm just not in sync with NVDA and AMD, so I just avoid them. There's other strong stocks to participate in. So yeah, I mean, I mentioned this before from a week ahead perspective. Is just, hey, I think that we were going to bounce, and we did. So, but now we gapped down, and yeah, I don't know if there's going to be some more downside to this. I would look up for these key levels around 130, 107. If we do break those levels, then I would look for some continuation to the downside. But I don't think that in this market, Neil and I were just talking, it's so hard. You just got to buy the dips on these stocks, and sure enough, they will recover. So, and I think NVDA is going to be one of those. I don't know if we break 131, because that is not a ways away. But again, if it's that weak, then there might be some more alarming news on that front. But guys, all right, let's log this data here on our trade, our second trade as a collective unit, 155. So we're going to close it. What is our closing print here? 605.96, we'll call it. So we'll get out at 605.96, 605.96. We're going to mark that as a W right now because we are all out of that position, but we are not. I'll log this a little bit later. But yeah, there we go. 2 for 2, guys, so far. Once I mark this down, yeah, we're absolutely killing it right now on that front. So good work there, guys. What are you looking at there, Shane?
I'm looking at the fact that they could have a person of interest here for the UNH killing. So they're saying that it could be this individual over here. Name is Luigi Mangione, picked up in McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, after the employees called the cops. Multiple law enforcement said he had multiple fake IDs, a gun with a suppressor, and he was also in possession of documents railing against the healthcare industry. Oh, that's a lot there.
Yeah,
that's all circumstantial evidence, obviously, but the culmination of a lot of circumstantial evidence definitely builds the case against you. So, eek. Okay. Huh? What? Sorry? Why did he have that on him? Yeah, what's a great question, Neil. Exactly.
What's he doing in Pennsylvania, to be honest with you? How many days?
Hell out of there.
I mean, but how many days has it been? It was like last week, no?
Well, they were saying they didn't think he was in New York anymore. I mean, that's what the last reports I heard.
I'd be in Mexico. I wouldn't even be in the States. It takes like 24 hours to get there.
I'd be the non-extradition country, Joseph.
You know what I mean?
Look at Big Smile So Health. Shout out to Pennsylvania. That's not what you want to be known for, Big Smile. You don't want this Luigi Mangione guy, picking off people in your state. Shout out to Big Smile Burdette, obviously. Sounds like a made-up episode of Law & Order, says Saad Mahmood. Maybe you're right, bro. Maybe you're right. Dara loves that show. I'm sure she'll have more to say about that in a hot minute. Oh, sorry, I'm not plugged in. Get it, Adara.
Get it, Adara. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
We are going to take a look here at the UNH chart because it did actually, looks like it rallied on this news. We did have this rounded bottom here in the 5-minute. We push above, clearing resistance from earlier today, just shy of 554. But as you can see here, we cannot clear 560, and earlier today we had a bit of a flat top break at that 550 level. So UNH clearly following these $10 levels. Be aware of that. Just another update here in this story. We actually did have Luigi Mangione arrested in Altoona, Pennsylvania on firearms charges. So they the way it's being worded here by New York Mayor Eric Adams is that they have a strong person of interest in the United Healthcare CEO shooting. It has not yet been confirmed, but that is the speculation. As Sharif said, a lot of circumstantial evidence on watch for this individual. So let's see what kind of law and order we get in this case. But UNH right now on watch, actually getting a volume increase on that story, guys. Back to you.
I love it. I don't even know why UNH would go up. It doesn't matter because it went up. That's the fact of the matter. Ram, can we get that chum chum thing for Adara? Because she just talked about circumstances.
Yeah, that was me. That was my bad. I usually press it after the Adara, so we'll give her a double on that one. Bang, bang.
I like it, Chelsea.
Get the double on that front there, guys. But yeah, I mean, that's it, Sharif. I still have a lot of this position that I'm going to hold on to, but what do you got there?
Yeah, we just took out some there on Tiger, sir. Well, we set up another beak wetter here at 810s. Ram. Let's see if this one wants to move up. We just took out some at 808. TIGR is the ticker I'm talking about. It's got a respectable 31% move today. I was concerned that this one would end up being a bit of a head and shoulders reversal, just given how it was setting up. You know, left shoulder head, and then it was forming the right shoulder. My concern was it breaks and takes VWAP to the downside, and we end up retracing maybe back down to that $7 area from where we broke out. So this one did gap up early in the morning at 4 a.m. And in case you're wondering why, it is a Chinese stock and they have a way of gapping up because Asian traders are trading them in the pre-market at around 4 a.m., etc. So they're usually very active during those times, more active than North American stocks, I would submit to you. In any event, it's got a bit of a top here at 810. I've set up a beak wetter for the break and take of that level. Otherwise, we'll definitely get everything out through the break of VWAP, which is now a little bit higher than my entry point. So we'll keep tabs on that. GXAI also curling back off the volume weighted average price. I was talking to Jose in the background. He had this one. I didn't even know he traded small cap gappers, but he's about that life, I guess. So I was talking to him about this, and yeah, he was seeing the same thing that I saw.
Jose is about that life.
Yeah, he's about that life. I like him so much more now. Right? It's the way it is, Adara. Yeah, I know. It's the way it is. 520, him and I were talking about how there was a bit of a seller of note that kept moving down. Their order moving down by a couple of pennies. That is obviously until we got down to about 4.5. Now we're kind of curling back up. So keeping my eye out on that one. Let's look at the large caps before we send it over to the big kahunas. Ooh. Oh, we don't need to, because I'm sure they will. They're going to be trading that. It is now 2 o'clock, guys. Let's see how we did on the poll super quick. 804 votes. Happy we got 800, but could have done a little bit better. Certainly Apple number 1 there with Coinbase number 2. Shout out to Big Spile. $10 super chat. The dude's dropping money. Guys, local news just said the workers knew it was the gunman or at least an out-of-towner because when he smiled, he had all his teeth. Dude, you're making fun of your own state, but you're allowed to do that. Shout out to Big Spile. And with that, we're going to send it over to the Big Kahuna. See you guys tomorrow.
Everybody.
Oh, no. What state was that, first of all? I didn't even
know. State of what? State?
I'll tell you right now, like that story, it doesn't pass the smell test to me. Like, why would, if you did that, like just, if you did this, why would you have on your person all kinds of documentation about hating the healthcare industry?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. So welcome, everybody. Wow, good timing.
I mean, they're not going to find the guy.
No, but the midday, you know what? This midday long that you guys, well, I mean, obviously it's the midday show that you guys put it on. Yeah, I don't know exactly, Joe, where you guys got out, but the ES bounced for the mid. You might have just taken the top off. To be honest, like this is VWAP on the ES. I mean, obviously you guys are looking at the SPY, but that's a reversal candle on this consolidation. Now you're headed back lower. I say that because I got shaken out of Apple like I was insert random defender trying to bring down Josh Allen when he's running like mad. So something like 606 on the SPY. So let me just go, because you guys were looking at the SPY, right? So I was just pulling up the ES load. Oh, look at the out. Wow. Let's give it this, because that was almost perfect. About as perfect as you're going to get. So nice little bounce play. I don't know exactly the time you guys got into it, but the market losing VWAP, starting to come right back in to the downside here. And the one thing I had short is gone, and I don't know if I'm going to get back into advanced micro devices. The market almost 2/3% to the downside. AMD down 5 points today. Yeah, not a very good day for AMD. A lot of the crypto names, we lost 100,000 again.
Oh, God.
That's like, I don't know. Like I said this morning, you can count the amount of times we lost 100,000 if you really feel like it. But there's been many tests. But this is what IBIT looks like. It's about 97.5 where the bottom is, which is the current low. So maybe we get some kind of a bounce there. Coinbase is having an ugly day. Mara is not having a good day. Riot had an offering, so obviously they're not having a good day either. Pretty crazy moves. And then the Chinese ADRs have been ham. As a quick rebound, they might not do much in the middle of the day here or in the afternoon, but NEO's at VWAP up 13%. Alibaba is at the high, again 94. Quadruple top on Alibaba, up 9%.
Wow,
and just an unbelievable day for them. I'm sure we could point out a bunch of, you could pull up K-Web, whatever you want, but strong moves in China. But the market starting to come back in. Even the strong names are starting to catch a little bit of a curl, let's just say, back to the downside. That was such a great out, VWAP on the SPY.
Oh, yeah. Man. Yeah, I remember when we were trading in sim mode, we were just getting all these great outs, these great fills and everything like that, right? I mean, it's just, yeah, the market is a tough thing. All right, we were just long Tesla. We had a great move back off 185, man, all the way up to 387 and change. Tops out at 387.70. Now you're pulling back also in Tesla. So watch out for this one. I had a stop. I mean, we're lighter and lighter on this. I was debating changing the stop. This is what I'm going to do as last time. So I have it breaking through 385. So if we break through 385 right now, we will get out of that. That's exactly where we're in. So I don't know. I don't know if that's enough. Actually, I'm going to stretch this down to 384. Try to maybe average something back in and around here. That 200 period is 383 and change. All right, we'll figure this out on Tesla. I don't know. I was sort of hoping that the market wasn't going to make this kind of a move straight off the EWAP right there, coming right back in. Too bad. Okay. All right. So we're long Tesla. And by the way, I mean, we're still short. This is still $2.5 in the money. I haven't done anything since. Just watching out for this. Take it out. But now you're still falling back in. Should have easily reloaded that, hindsight. And then we're still short NVIDIA. So what we have now is long Tesla. So we're $1 in the money long Tesla. We're 2.5 on SMH and $1 flat. It's funny, we're $1 short on NVIDIA and $1 long on Tesla right now. So splitting hairs with these two names. Which just goes to show you, like, we're making money on both those positions, and they're sort of oppo, right? Meaning that we like Tesla long to begin with, although it did fall back in. But we've always liked NVIDIA short. So, all right, a couple more bullets to fire here, especially with Tesla. Tesla's my largest position, so watch out here.
Well, welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. Neil and Sean, ready to go, baby. Ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. So make sure to join Joe and I during the How to Trade midday show and get into that chat. And there's 3 polls, one every hour, so you will never have enough of your say every day. All right, guys, let's have a look at the major averages to start. This is a look at the triple Qs, the worst of the 4 major averages right now, down about 0.75%, followed by the ES down about 0.42. The Dow likewise in negative territory, down 0.26, and the Russ faring better than all of them, but still in negative territory, down about 0.14%. All right, let's have a look at the first ticker as decided by you, TSLA, Tesla. Having a bit of a tough day today, down about 0.68, but it did have this positive catalyst that sent it up in the pre-market. Looks like they may be pricing in their Model Q, the smaller version of the Model 3. Previously, we were referring to it as the Model 2, below $30,000 and even $25,000 if the federal EV tax credit remains in place. We're talking about a range of possibly around 500 kilometers, guys, and they want to have it ready for delivery in early or mid 2025, guys. So that's not that far from now.
Mid-2020.
Like it's a stone's throw away. It's an aggressive.
2025.
It's aggressive, man. Like we're at the end of the year. Like
That's like you haven't even planned your vacation. Like that's not even mid-2025.
It's just like I don't know. Like when we've seen this before. Like how many times has there been an aggressive timeline that we hear out of Elon, or we hear out of Tesla in a general sense, and then it gets pushed back. That said, hey, I like where they're going with this. If they can pull it off in that time frame, I think the stock, it's going to rocket. I don't necessarily know if the small form is the biggest reason to be a Tesla shareholder. I think automation and I think optimists are probably just as big stories. Obviously, solar, I think, is a massive deal for them. There's a lot of reasons to like Tesla. That said, this was a typical type of retracement type day for Tesla. I mean, 400 was a good break. Look, it was a clean break. It broke 400 and it was right to 405. Like you couldn't have lost on the breakout trade unless you just elected not to cover anything. If you decided not to take any profit at any point, then that's the only way I think you could have lost on that trade. Tried to hold pre-market lows. Once it went into gap fill mode, we talked about this in the lesson of the day. Like there were levels I liked trading it off of, but my note this morning, I was like, if it cannot hold green, I don't want to fight it. And that was a big gap into where the program buying started on Friday, which was right around the high 370 area. I did have one reversion trade, like 80 to 82 and a half, like kind of in here. I actually got like just around 81s, just underneath 81s, into like just underneath 83s, and then walked away. I still think I don't want to fight it at this point at the 390, and I elected to pivot over to Rivian. I think a lot of times when this happens and I wanted to look for a strong play, I just went over to Rivian, which has been holding VWAP pretty decently. I've gotten out a couple times when it loses VWAP, but then it holds it, and I just jump right back in. Pretty much the same price 3 times, and it's strong, Lucid's strong. I just like to see this back above the 390. I think if Tesla closes green today, all systems go to get that all-time high this week. But I want to see it close above that 3. It's 389.22. If it closes green, I think we get the all-time high this week.
Just people talking about SoundHound there. Yeah, still $15, trying to break $15. All right, so I'll just talk. I mean, we have the same. Look, Tesla was pretty big off the open, right? I mean, we had sort of averaged it in back to the 50 period. So we did a little bit different. We were able to, again, we were long into that break and didn't have to punch anything. And it was good. I mean, getting 50 cent was fine because by the time you blinked, it was at 401.50, 402.50. We have our outs here at 404.50. So we have some great plays. I mean, our initial long there was 98, then 99. And I just played it a little bit differently, making sure that I was getting long before that break. Again, that's risky because you could always get stopped out before the break actually happened. We're lucky enough to not have that happen to us. And then look at this, boom, right there. It came right back in, and somehow we were able to buy that bottom. We never wound up losing at all until it broke that last time, right there at 10:30 or so, when we finally broke that day's low, and then it started to go. So I'm just as confident as before. Like, when you break pre-market lows, we know we don't want to be in those stocks. So I feel like confident and everything about all of these trades. And then finally, we took down 385 again, breaking through the 200 period moving average. I wasn't here, or I was here, but I wasn't noticing it, I guess, until after it broke. So I still think the best long would have been around 84.50. I waited for 85 because I did wind up missing it as it was starting to ramp through. And then we punched to 85 longs. And again, we just took some out right now at 86.70, 86.50. So another nice win for us as we just start to pad it up. Number 1 stock today will be SMH. But number 2, of course, as Neil and I both hit it, will be Tesla. So despite losing on Tesla, we've made it all back and a little bit less. So our best spot was early on Tesla because we had the long. And then since then, we've kind of given a little bit back here on TSLA. So fun stock, but not overly fun today. Could have been better if it just kept on going.
Oracle is up 82% year to date, guys, in the report after the bell today. Analysts expecting earnings per share to come in at $1.48, up from $1.34 last time around, and revenue to increase to $14.12 billion, up from $12.94 a year ago on the quarter. Let's have a look at what the street is expecting in terms of volatility. We're expecting a move of plus or minus 9%. Last time around, though, we exceeded that. We got to 11.9%. 0.4% to the upside, making Larry Ellison the third richest man in the world. And these guys do report, guys, I believe, at 405 here, according to Earnings Whispers.
You would be correct about that. We are expecting them at 405. Look, Oracle's, it's trading at like 48 times PE. So it's a little pricey.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
at least, yeah, like it's, you know what, let me double check.
That makes sense.
No, I checked it off one source. You know what, hold on, I have my FinViz up. Let's just make sure we get two sources on that. I never want to say anything incorrectly, but FinViz has 49. So one says 48, one says 49. Forward PE is 27. That's a little bit more reasonable. But I think when the forward's at 27 and the current's at 49, like it's important that they actually register a beat when you're at all-time highs. And again, there was a bit of a reversal here. And when I say a few stocks have this pattern. Like they attempted a breakout, and arguably, if you had this stock breaking out the highs in the pre-market, it's not like it's all bad. Like it went 96 to 98. So you probably had a chance to win on that trade. But when it fell, it just filled the entire gap, went red, stayed red, and has continued to trend down. It looks really bad, but then you remember the context of it failing the fresh high and just being a little bit pricey. So there's probably some risk off going into earnings. Not a stock that I particularly would want to touch here in the afternoon, unless there was some kind of a huge, like if it did a really big flush down into Friday lows, maybe look for a mean reversion, or maybe it sets up like a VWAP trade. I'd be more inclined to stay away. But it can be good when you get some pressure relieved, at least, before earnings. So it's a decent amount of volume failing that high on Oracle. But it's that, the forward PE is much more reasonable. So if they beat expectations, suddenly you're not looking at that expensive of a stock. But again, that's if they beat expectations at 405. Tune in because we'll be able to see it live. These guys are going to be a mover. Mongo's going to be a mover as well. So it should be a fun aftermarket show.
Yeah, implied move right now with them is 13%, which is huge. Mongo 9, C3 AI.
C3. That's
C3. No, but C3 has at least 7 apparently.
No,
how is that
what?
possible?
That doesn't make any sense. C3 AI only moving 7%.
Previous move less than 1. Adara is updating those numbers, so those might have been incorrect. Okay, but I just wanted to show you back here, Oracle has had opportunities to dump, right? I mean, it doesn't necessarily just go one way. We've seen Oracle, it's gapped higher here. The important thing here from eSignal is just look at the weekly chart right now for Oracle. 185, like it's slowly starting to do this on the weekly. So really big consolidation here, looking to break higher. I think it does, man. I mean, this is all-time highs for Oracle. The reason why I want to look at it a little longer, I was long down here in this stuff. That's why when Neil said 48, 49, I was like, yeah, it probably is, because almost a double up, and I probably would have bought, I like to buy tech names if they're ever in the low 20s on a PE basis, and Oracle was just a name that I've got into pretty light in that space. I was actually telling Neil that, like, after all these stocks, just keep, like, Palantir will get to it. No, we will not. How did Palantir not make the list? For a stock that was up 8% in the pre-market, now down 5%. Yeah. But what I was getting at here with some of these names is that you have, in order to sell them, it's like you sell and then you're like, why did I do that? So I was just sort of thinking that because I've been getting some out on some of these names, like a Tesla, Oracle, even Apple. I mean, I haven't sold any up here, but maybe I could. Like, I have all these stocks. At some point, it's like you have to ring the register a little bit. So I was thinking, instead of worrying about getting out of my positions now, I'm just maybe going to just buy indexes as we go. And the NASDAQ being down almost 1%, that might be one of the first ones. But again, I'm looking at the diamonds, DIA. To buy. I first started buying a little bit of this, and I'm very low on the ETFs. I mentioned that for sure. We started buying this a long time ago, and I like it because the 30 top stocks, I really like those 30 stocks. I mean, obviously got hit with UNH being in there and Intel and whatnot, but I really like, is Intel still in the Dow? Or no, it got booted out for NVIDIA, right?
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so bye-bye. So there you go. So NVIDIA coming into the Dow. So yeah, even more reason to maybe like this as the next thing for myself to buy. And you also get financials in there as well. So yeah, that's kind of my plan. I just want to start to buy some of these now, hold on to all the equity that I have, and just start to layer into either TLTs, things like that, start to get a little diversified. But maybe even gold.
Diversify these.
Gold. By the way, gold is up today, by the way, for everybody. Like, what's up to Peter Schiff and company? Gold up today, Bitcoin down.
It's not down that much.
Bitcoin's not down. Well, I mean, you know, we can't trade over the weekend, right? Do we have IBIT on? No, we have Coinbase. But you could see here IBIT down 4%. So like that's a decent move, right? I mean, most people will be invested. If we're talking about Bitcoin itself, 97.5. I mean, look, if you push the buy button at 103, 104, you're out of the money a little bit. I mean, other than that, most people are going to be up. But right now, GLD 1% up and heading down actually right now. So a nice little trend to the downside. We'll have to maybe watch out for the US dollar. All right, Sharif is getting. Is it you? Yeah, all right, Neil.
Actually. What you can also do is check out Trade the Pool, allowing stock traders like you to get evaluated and trade real shares using the company's capital with no PDT rule holding you back. Trade the Pool has just launched a limited edition program. For a one-time fee of just $300, you'll receive $80,000 in buying power and the chance to become a funded trader. Hit a profit target of just 4% and you'll start trading with the company's capital. Get funded faster and easier with the new conditions designed for success. And the best part, the profit split has now been upgraded to a generous 70%, so you keep more of what you earn. Don't wait, check it out now and see how Trade the Pool can help you trade bigger and better. Scan that QR code, check the link in the description.
Scan it up.
And maybe you can trade some Apple, which we'll talk next.
People don't want to trade Apple.
Nah.
Shout out to Trade the Pool. All right, guys, yeah, great segue there. Apple up next over here, Ram. And there was no catalyst specific to Apple today, but this tidbit did come in during the midday. T-Mobile looking like they're saying that the upgrade rate is pretty low. They didn't specify specifically for the iPhone. Speaking about the upgrade cycle in general, they did also say that their Q4 is back and loaded, and investors should be cautious as there's a risk of a lot of risk at the back half. It sent Apple momentarily down, guys, but still nearer the highs than the lows.
All right, so Apple, I was caught in the same sort of a trade there with Sharif, as we just mentioned, that T-Mobile trade. Look, we had T-Mobile came out and said that they'd have some back-end problems. Now that I say that out loud, it just seems funny. But no, on the back end of the second year here of 2025. So we all sort of thought that would mean maybe that they had seen some weakness. Like, anytime you get a chance to like figure out and like be the smart guy on Apple, you always try to do it, right? But I mean, that created this largest sell candle right there in the whoopsies. It doesn't even look like, you can't even see it there. It doesn't even look like anything when you zoom back out, but it did create this little bit of a sell side. And then once it broke through, I mean, naturally, I was like, giddy up, you know? I thought this was going to potentially start to move down. The market was already at its highs, but again, you don't want to short a name that's up on the day and at all-time highs and. So as we go, we have to continue to look now at Apple. So I still like the stock up 1.4%. I mean, we had thought that maybe this was, and we had talked about this with Sharif as well, maybe some doji action here where you finally started to slow down, saw a little bit of some red action, but then today it's a big FU to that idea with that middle finger candle. But it's just like boom right there to the upside, right? And so there it is. It's like, I don't know, it kind of looks like a middle finger, like here's a hand clenched and then boom, right there. So I don't know, the market is definitely heated. We've talked about that over and over numerous times here on the show. So I would just say, get some profits if this is your game. But I mean, congratulations, Apple continues to work. And I mean, I also think that this super cycle, you're going to get good talks here heading into Christmas. People are really loving those AirPods, and you talked about why you like the watch there for health for your family.
I'll bang its hate.
And the same thing is
everyone should have.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing is for those little AirPods. You can now test, and again, whatever. It's
a hearing aid.
Hearing aids, yeah. But it's not like a hearing aid. I think it's more for testing the.
I thought
if there's any issues in there, you can wear it as a hearing aid.
It acts as a hearing aid.
What?
As far as I know, it acts as a hearing aid.
Okay, because Marissa put hers in and goes, look, I just selected this adaptive hearing. And she goes, now the only thing I can hear is voices. Like, she's like, I can hear everything right now. So I'm like, oh, shit, I better watch out. She has these things in her ears. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
What is that? I can't say stuff under my breath.
No, it is.
But yeah, like, okay.
Apple's winning.
I always wanted to be a spy. Like, you play those games with your kids, like, hey, what do you want to be? And, Barron right now wants to become a police officer. So I'm like, hey, look, very, very.
Yeah.
I'm feeling, no, it's very great of him to say that. But as a father, I don't want my kid to be a police officer only because of the risk.
We never want our kids to do
I think it's very, the word I'm looking for is like commendable, like a very honorary. And he said he wants to be because he likes to help. He wants to do that. So I say, that's great.
That's awesome.
But I don't want him. Man. So anyways, I was like, oh, I used to want to be, when you had those,
you want smart people like that to be
gadget and shit. Like you get those telescopes that used to go around the corner. It was like a Fisher Price.
I know exactly.
Yeah, it was like
I know exactly what you're talking about. The exact one.
Yeah, it was almost So we used to have those things too. And I remember getting like a little thing that you would attach. It never worked, but just like a magnifying thing that you put in your ear, and it's like pretending like you're hearing stuff.
I love that stuff.
Anyways, now I just see dead people.
I wouldn't want to be a spy. Because one thing you always see, like if you have that type of a job, like you can't have like a normal family life. And that's sort of that's the hard thing. I think that's the reason why, like I have all the respect in the world for people that are in service.
100%.
Like all the respect in the world. And I'm glad there are, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad there are people in that world willing to make that sacrifice, that I'm like the first, I'm not super brave. And it's a hard road to go down, but I mean, ultimately, I think it's pretty cool. But just to take it back to Apple wins. They do everything right. Shouldn't have shorted it, but when I did, should have held it. It was just, I got cute too, because we had the long double, it was a triple top. Here, I'll show you a 15-minute, because this is actually a triple top break, technically, on Apple. Like Thursday, Friday, and then today, breaking out. So when it broke 245, it was breaking a triple top. That's an obvious long break, but it did that news came out that Sean was mentioning, and then it was like I decided to revert the reversion, which is, I don't know, like it's an Obi saying, and now I find myself saying it and looking for it too, where you have the move down on an upward trending stock, it then puts in a trend line back into resistance, breaks trend, goes to go short it, which it's questionable because it's a strong stock, but then it was working, and then I trailed out at break even, which or my best entry, which is a bad decision. And now it looks like it's coming back in. So I got a bit cute. If you'd stuck with the long, you'd be buying dips into here. But as long as it's going to close at another fresh high. That's the other thing. On a weekday for the market, I think the important thing to keep in mind here for Apple is it's going to, as long as nothing crazy happens, it's going to close at a high and look at the rejection candle. That doesn't look to me like something that is weak. It looks to me like a stock which is making a new breakout. So it feels like a new breakout there on Apple, and I'm going to just juxtapose that with, you look at what was Meta's response today. Meta, which was also trying to break out, big pullback, now down 2%. I think Amazon is another good example of something that is holding on to the highs and likely to, knock on wood, to close with another fresh high here on Amazon. So I think you got to start putting some of these into buckets. And clearly it's in a strong bucket. The name we're about to talk about is in the other.
Oh yeah, tough day definitely today, 7.5%, and continuing to bleed here for Coinbase, despite the fact that it had multiple good headlines. Looks like Barclays maintaining their equal weight on Coinbase and raising the price target to $355. Separately, there was this article by Benzinga detecting unusual options activity for Coinbase to the bullish side. So good look there. We'll have to wait though, guys, because it's selling off aggressively here with Bitcoin also down about 2.5% on the day.
As you said, Bitcoin down 2.5%, although it's a 24-hour market, so it's all relative. That said, if you're comparing apples to, I guess this would be oranges in this case, but if you're comparing it to Coinbase, it is good because it gives you an idea of from the point at which Coinbase closed, Bitcoin's down 2.5, it's down 3x that, which we know that's the way that this works. The good news for Coinbase, there's always a silver lining. I'm going to point it out now. The major area that it just broke out from, which is about 215 in here. So there's your resistance. It turned into support twice, including last week. It's double bottomed off that level. So it's got a nice little spot where if things can calm down and you do regain 100,000, then you've got a good ramp job to go from here on coin. Selfishly, wish it would have gone down 10% so it could be SSR tomorrow, but it's not. I just feel if we lose this 315 area, then you're backing off until it retests like 290, 300 there on Coinbase. This isn't the one that I traded in adjacent to this move. I decided to trade Mara to the south side instead of Coinbase. And the only good news I got out of Mara, I mean, don't ask me why Mara is catching this kind of a bid. Bitcoin's not really doing anything, but it is. So it doesn't have to make sense. What I would say is it's holding on to the 24 level for Mara. Like I just shorted at 24.5, trailed out at 24. It looks like this is going to be the strong one. But while I wouldn't necessarily go for the long in Coinbase, I would just point out of names that got shellacked today in the space, Mara is looking pretty strong on a rebound. It's got a short float in there, and I see Balan Wood, hopefully I got your name right there. Mara is printing for you, so you probably have a long somewhere out in front of that bottom at 24. I mean, VWAP in 25 is obviously going to be a nice little interesting target. There was some resistance right here at 24.75 if you're watching it. But just to go back to Coin, like Coin, nice bounce, but it's not doing anything now, whereas you're actually getting a move over there in Mara. I feel like if we do make a run back to 100,000 this afternoon, I'd probably go try trade the one that's showing more strength.
All right. So yeah, we talked a little bit about some of these Bitcoins earlier on in the day, and I was like, hey man, like what I would be trading, what is that coin or ConL there? And we had looked at, I mean, I was just listening to what Neil was saying there. We were looking at those levels this morning, but unfortunately didn't really get back up there. We had sort of talked about looking at where we were on Friday, coming back in. Now, of course, didn't get up to that 244. We basically just started the day and just kept on going to the downside. Now it looks like 314 might be like a dip buy opportunity now. That we wait there for Coinbase. But at the end of the day, I don't know, pretty nasty overall. I mean, we looked at IBIT. I always thought that buying the 200 period was a good idea, and I still think it is on all of these names. The 200 period is now, we're underneath it. So I'd like to see, it's kind of like this Tesla trade that now is starting to work out for me, okay, but it didn't really start that way. And what I was talking about was Tesla taking that break once we started to get going a bit. So for me, you're kind of seeing a nice base rate now on the coins, on Bitcoin, on whatever you're looking at. I mean, I haven't looked at Ethereum the same way, but it looks like this 55.50 or so on IBIT is holding. So for me, I almost think, look, if 55.50 is going to hold, you never want to be like the last one left holding the bag or anything like that. But you could try the long. If it breaks this, then get out. Or, as we've sat here and seen many times, the momentum change in crypto, you can just wait for it to take this out. So I actually like this play a little bit better, 56 break. Or the problem is if you take the 200 period, you just run into all this, which is like 10 or 15 cents. And then you're like, was it really worth that trade? So I'd rather it have this garbage in the middle, which it's doing right now. Either you get a little more patient and you wait about 20 more cents and buy that dip, or you wait 30 more cents and buy the break. So I'm going to try to do that, be patient here, and give it a minute with IBIT. So that's my take there. 56 break long is something that I'll probably take here if that does happen in the next hour or so.
NVIDIA, last one here on the rundown. Tough day for NVIDIA and AMD and some of these other semiconductor names down here, 2 2/3 on the back of this report by Reuters that China's market regulator looking at investigating NVIDIA for the acquisition of one of its companies there and violating the anti-monopoly laws in China. Separately, we've heard, grumblings coming out of China with respect to acquiring American-made chips and how they could be a national security threat. We're also keeping an eye on the outright ban of critical minerals for the manufacturer of semiconductor names, guys. So the tit for tat exchange continues between here east and west. NVIDIA down 2 2/3.
NVIDIA, yeah. So look, we have NVIDIA today. We have it right now. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was just like, whatever happened earlier. I mean, we already have it on the sticky note. We have it. We talked about 140 short. We like the trade. It's now $1.50 in the money. Great, good for me. But at the end of the day, we don't have that reload right there at 140. We should have had that. A little silly that we don't. So I was a little not pleased, to say the least, with that performance there. Should have reshorted it once we got back into that level. We were long Tesla, and we kind of, or long something. I don't know. I was just like, maybe we're going to break, and I didn't take the short again. So anyways, with that negative catalyst is exactly what you're looking for. It's the only short that we had written down on here today was to short NVIDIA. I wish we had written down short Palantir, but we didn't. So short NVIDIA. It was right, and it continues to be right. So we have another bullet to fire, but we'll give it another second. And if anything, we don't have this on here, but the number one trade of the day, and it's a slapper. It's SMH. I mean, we hit this name real aggressive, way too much. Like I actually, in hindsight, probably had too many shares. And it was just, I liked the level up there. We wanted to be short. It came right into here. Like this is some of the stuff that we're doing. We're supporting resistance, plus we try to play momentum a little bit. Anyways, good move down there for SMH. I just say you stay the course. And sometimes it's good to be lucky to be good, all those kind of sayings. At the same time, you got to play. I hear Joe sometimes talk about this, Neil does, we all do, but it's like, it's not the theory, but the sector. Like you want to trade the idea, you want to see it through. You don't necessarily just want to, get short on NVIDIA. Then, oh my God, like it went up 20 cents, I'm out of it, right? Like that's a move that I've done many times before. But for this SMH, I wanted to see if we could get this push back down, and thankfully it did make that move into VWAP. So we stayed with that sort of theme. Sort of was what I was looking for. Theme. We stayed on the theme of shorting chip names. And those are the only two shorts that we have today, SMH and NVIDIA. And, they're my top two stocks. So, yeah, that's what, or sorry, I guess Tesla's a top stock. But Tesla's ripping now, by the way, with the market going down.
I showed it Mara later, but it wasn't, Mara wasn't part of the action plan this morning. It just died and then looked for a continuation. Yeah. The only mistake, I liked AMD short more than I liked NVIDIA. I thought both of them looked relatively weak. They had the same story. I just felt like AMD was and has been a little bit weaker. But it was at the moment where, right in here, where you held or broke trend on NVIDIA, just about 11:20 or so, just a little bit before that. It broke trend. I put a trail on AMD and got out, thinking, okay, well, AMD is going to do what NVIDIA did. NVIDIA went all the way back to the high. AMD didn't get to VWAP. So I missed probably a golden opportunity to get into to reload in AMD. Now it's got a very long trend the entire day, which I think is going to be coming into play this afternoon. Like if it can revert it, it probably gets to VWAP. But I'm going to have this one up and maybe look for short the pop into trend resistance, I suppose, at 131.5 looks like a level. And if we break and close above, look for the reversal play. But it's just been nasty for these chip names. Although the difference, I think, is at least NVIDIA theoretically has big support at 130. The 50 period, again, for another time is held, it's wicked, and then held a 50 period on the daily. And when it comes to AMD, I actually think, now that AMD did that little bit of a, bounce off support in the channel, test the channel top, try to break it out, it didn't. You're back underneath this channel to the downside, and on a collision course, I think with either the bottom of the channel or at least $125, somewhere down in here. The last line of support is where we are right now, and just broke that 132 area. So I think you're headed down into the 120 to 125 range here on advanced micro devices. Rivian Millionaire, shout out to you. But UNH is up today. I'm glad they're up. I'm glad they've identified and hopefully got the right person. It's a little bit.
They don't have the right person.
No, it's again. I'm trying not to play conspiracy theorist, but it doesn't make any sense.
They don't.
Why would you have literal documentation on you that's I hate the healthcare sector? It's not usually making a lot of sense. That said, the stock was probably going to get a bounce at some point, regardless. And where did it bounce? Nobody should be shocked. I remember last week we were pointing. Look at $550 on UNH. Okay. So where did it bounce? $550. Go up on your daily chart, closed just underneath it, and now you're breaking right away from the same price. The only thing I'm in is this VWAP trade on Rivian that keeps on retesting. The downside is you're making lower highs into a wedge. So what needs to happen, well, it's already made a wedge here. What needs to happen for Rivian with all these lower highs is eventually you bounce off VWAP and then break this channel up, which is what we're trying to hold into. I'd rather be adding at this point down underneath support at maybe a 440 or we actually get a break of trend and then we can head to $15. So it's been a relatively strong one, and I know SOUN is going to be on watch. Oh, AMD doesn't want to pop to get us to the top of that trend at 131.5. It just continues to fall, down 5.5 points. The chips are looking pretty ugly. I'll say this much. The simple fact that Intel's not going down today, that's a pretty good sign. You know, if you're looking for a bottom on this, it's deciding to hold right in around 20, 21 bucks today. Nice little consolidation. This is with the market weak, the market down, and the chips actually being the weakest of the tech names. Intel's dead flat. So when you have a stock which has been just bleed central, this is now technically 2 sessions, but I'd call it 3. Look at the bottom on Intel. I'm starting to look long on this thing off of this 20.5 level. And if not just breaking, like if this breaks 21.25, looks like a nice long to me for Intel. Maybe doesn't have a catalyst with it today, but if we're talking about the chips, hey, if it's not going down, eventually, usually a stock's going to break it.
So just real quick, yeah, what was I looking at? Okay, hold on a second. I want to get out of, those are all bids. Okay, we don't need that trade. Okay, just putting some bids out here to make sure we're out. All right, so just SMH, I just posted an update on it. Thanks, Bears vs. Bulls. Just posted that here. Another out right at the exact same level as before, man, 246.30. We just got another out at that exact same level, so that's a banger right there. I said Tesla was ripping. It wasn't actually ripping, I guess. But, you know, when you went to 385, then it's up here at 386, almost 387, that $2 move upside got us out more. So we are now we're getting closer and closer to being flat right now on Tesla. So watch out for that one as that comes out here. I saw some people in the chat talk about this. And unfortunately, yeah, man, I have reached out to Michael, and we do have a little bit of a sad news here. I think he'll still be on the after hours show today, but yeah, no longer with Trade Ideas. So you guys can message him or whatever. I've already messaged him. It's all good. So, you know, he's fine with us discussing this. But yeah, I got fired. What's next? So he is actually planning on some new things. So we'll continue, you know, talking with Michael Noss and having him on and supporting him and all that kind of stuff. So we say thank you for all that. And no longer affiliated with Trade Ideas is Mr. Noss. So we'll, we still have our Trade Ideas.
Always on the...
We still have our... yeah, I know, exactly, Bermeen. We still have our Trade Ideas affiliated there until... hello, Trade. Oh, now I'm fired? Oh, okay. No, but it's not... No, Rameen's like, it's awkward. It's not that awkward at all. No. It's completely fun.
Rameen, chill, Winston.
Unity. This is the program that we use. Look, here, I put it on here.
Oh, you're going to close Unity?
Log out. There we go. All right. No more Ramin in my ear.
Yeah, wait till Unity fails when you try to log back in. Then who's laughing? I'm just saying. No.
Anyways, Michael Noss, if you're looking for some employment, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I mean, I know he's...
By the way, the Unity that we use for the sound system has nothing to do with...
Oh, yeah,
Unity.
It's not Unity.
It's not Unity. So obviously, it's not Unity software, the stock that we trade.
It's actually client. I don't know.
It's actually apparently very popular for like they use it as a sound system.
I mean, I won't be using it anymore, but it was good at the time.
So
something just kept on bothering me in my ear. I don't know what it was.
It's always
a little bit of a fluttering there.
I feel like, okay, I want to talk about Palantir because Palantir caught a nice bid off of $71, and I feel as if we're looking back, obviously Palantir should have been a short. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, and one of these days I'll remember the rest of that saying. Or maybe that's the entirety of the saying, and that's why I don't remember it. No, this is a huge gap fill on Palantir, which was either, you know, holding 71. I tried it at 72. That was a good bounce play. So Palantir, a couple of bounces worked. Ended up like 3 for 5 on bounce plays in Palantir, which, I mean, it's solid, but obviously the short was better. 71 and 70. I don't really want to look any further than that.
Look at the market.
I think it's about to test back down. I think it's about to test down lower as it's starting to roll over. And my first gut is if we do see a retest to 71 or even 70, look for some kind of a bounce play. This AMD doesn't seem to want to get me in whatsoever. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like it wants to get it. But Mara...
The problem is this market.
Right, Mara's curling. Bitcoin's starting to come back into the downside. Do I want Mara off resistance, 2480?
Yes.
This short worked last time. It turned at 2480 first bounce shorted 24.5, and that's where I got into it. So that's probably what I'm going to look for there. I did see a question about any small cappers that were going, and there's this LDTC letter check.
Letterkenny?
It's spelled like LEDDAR, however you want to pronounce that.
LIDAR.
But it's an E, not an I. So it's like
LIDAR.
LIDAR?
Yeah.
Anyways, up 400%. It halted up,
Sure, LIDAR.
then halted down, and is now just trying to hold on to VWAP. So volume pretty good. I mean, it's done 260 million shares, but it's just had a halt up, failing the high of the day break, and then coming back into a halt down. So this looks at least a little bit interesting. It puts another higher low. It's got a nice little double top in here that you could see take $2. But it's like a day one play in there. So this is worth watching. I haven't seen anything else all that crazy on the small caps, but always have the halt scanner up and then some scans to see what's actually making high of the day moves, that kind of thing. We have our ear to the ground to make sure we don't miss out on anything crazy. But if you guys see anything moving on small caps, you can let us know as well. But that's the only one that crossed my radar. The only stock that's halted, I think, since 2 o'clock is that LDTC. So looking for the consolidation off Mara, maybe get short back into the 24.75 level.
I had Ramin FOMO, so I just turned it back on because you know,
of course, you never want to.
You never want to miss whatever she's going to be saying there. All right, so somebody go to ad read. Okay, see, I almost got it. Where to me?
Well, I didn't hear
50
it.
seconds.
So. 40 seconds.
All right, 40 seconds. All right. All right. So just real quickly, NVIDIA, SMH, Tesla. So I mean, we're just in the same positions. Let's go over some more. I looked at Netflix earlier this morning and I was like, huh? Where are we going on NFLX? I mean, it's down 3% today. I don't remember the last time we had a red day. Oh yeah, checks notes. November 25th. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So finally, it looks like some of the tides might be turning on a few of these Mag 7. I mean, not this is Mag 7. I mean, is Netflix, I don't think it was initially one of the Mag 7s.
It is Canadian.
But I feel like it definitely should be now if it is the case. All right, there's Firefly right there. We do have revolutionizing brain health. Firefly Neuroscience is revolutionizing brain health with cutting-edge brain network analytics powered by the world's most comprehensive EEG database. This technology provides precise insights for treating cognitive disorders such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, as well as traumatic brain injuries like concussions. With FDA 510K clearance and CEO Mark approval, Firefly is paving the way for a future where brain health is clear, accessible, and personalized. Click on no QR code, but definitely check the link in the description to find out more about Firefly. And just check them out. Firefly, of course, revolutionizing brain health. And again, we've had them on here a couple of times. They had that deal. Can't remember the company now, but there was one that was going crazy there, and FFIE was right behind. Bright Minds. Bright Minds. So AIIF there on the CSE. So go check them out. Firefly, of course. So all right, let's go. Yeah, Bright Minds. So good one there. Another runner. Those names can definitely go. We'll check it out in a second. But Netflix, I want to finish that train of thought. You are pulling back in here into the 200 period. I just wanted to show you, this is the 200 period on the 20-minute chart. It's just, it's kind of been riding it there. You did have a dip down, so it's not going to be 100% great. But if you are looking, we did bounce clean off of that this morning at 903. So again, a pretty big psychological level of $900 coming into play here for Netflix. So I would just say if you lose that, watch out, man. I mean, I would say right now it looks like you have some support, 905, 906. Nothing wrong with trying to buy that for a little bit of a scalp. You do still need $5 to come in on that right now. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I do like that 905, 906 area for Netflix.
I like 905.
Just because the Raptors 905, just in case it does bounce off of there. So that would be something.
I got a great point about Netflix. You know what makes Netflix great? The fact that I can watch Netflix content on any device, regardless of what I'm on. And like Amazon Prime or Amazon TV. Why? Because regardless of what device I use, if I purchase content on Amazon, I can watch it anywhere.
Yeah.
Where is this going?
The only beef I have with Apple.
Okay.
What?
is as an Android user.
Can't.
So here's the thing. On my TV, anything, so your TV, a smart TV, you can get the app.
Okay.
There is no Apple TV app for Android, like for Android phone or tablet.
Oh, there isn't. That is bad. Well, that's Android's fault.
No, so it is, but the workaround, which is actually works really well, is to just use it on a browser, which I've had no problems with until I realized one small problem. If you purchase Apple content, like I can watch anything that's like almost everything that's there.
Right.
But if I buy a show on Apple TV, I can't watch it from the browser. I can only watch it on my TV.
Okay.
And it's the same thing for the Paramount stuff. So like I was watching this new show, which is it's got the dude from Lost. He was also in the Matrix. The brother from he was in the Matrix.
Marissa loves Lost.
And then he was in Lost. Michael, the black guy. So it's called From. Show is out of control. I love the show, but I can't watch it on my phone because I get like 15, 20 minutes sometimes to watch it. It's called From. It's legit. Great start. Right. I was all excited about it. I'm like, come on, man.
Check it out.
There needs to be an Apple TV app
But
for
but you know
Android.
That's Android.
I know. I'm
probably blocking
just
it. Yeah.
arguing to the ether that I need that.
Well, you don't want
Emerson,
Apple to get too competitive.
Michael Emerson. That's his name, right? That's the actor's name. I should know him. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's good. He's in Lost. Anyways, it is a great show. I've watched like one episode. It's like, yeah, this is great. I'll be able to watch like 20 minutes of it every single night, and I watch on my phone in the evenings because like daddy duties and all that stuff. I can be in front of the TV and I go to bed early. It's ridiculous. I just want to be able to watch it on my phone. From is a good show. But Mara did come back into that 24.5 zone. Technically, 24.60 was this flat bottom break. Got some Hines in there, and then we're going to try to scalp it into this higher low and then hold through 24 and a quarter if it does get there. And I do see Guap just said the only beef with Apple. Yeah, I don't have another problem with Apple. I mean, I'm not an Apple. I'm an Apple shareholder, not an Apple user. I'll be the first person with my entire family. I'm the only person in my family. My parents, my brother, almost a lot of my family in the West Indies, they love Apple. Like, great, I've always preferred Android. Technically, I was a BlackBerry guy, but, there's not much you can do about that. So I'll just leave that one alone. I was that guy on BlackBerry. And I mean, literally, I was that guy.
Yeah, you and Arun had the BlackBerry.
No, Arun did not continue to upgrade.
Right.
I was like the key, which was, technically it wasn't a BlackBerry phone. They didn't make it. But still, I'd like to be able to say that I held on to that.
You were that one account that everyone was fighting for because you're like, there's one last guy that will upgrade. Like,
it's me.
Let me get him on the line. Let me get those points. And
I was that guy.
And they gave it to you, yeah.
And then every time, like, BlackBerry's up today.
You find something you like.
And then I was like, every time BlackBerry would be up on the show, I'd be able to pull it. I'd like, hey, look at my BlackBerry phone. And now, dude, I want that.
That was great content.
I want that Pixel Fold. I'm going to get one.
So I saw some guy this weekend. I think I'm going to see him tonight.
Those look out of control.
A hockey guy. He had some folding one. I'm going to find out which one it was. I don't know. I saw him doing it. I meant to mention now that you bring it up.
Apple's going to get one too. Everyone's going to have them.
Yeah. They all got some kind of a folding phone, but Apple not yet. They're building that apparently. All right, so I don't have any more stops out, period, because I have very, very light position on NVIDIA and SMH. Both of those stocks are, by the way, SMH is now $3.50 in the money, and NVIDIA is $2 in the money. So we're going to go chicken dinner winner right now. And this is a big chicken dinner winner for us on Tesla, but you're falling back in as the market goes down, and the market is down 1%. So that's not good. So now the market, just like my singing, the market also...
I like that song. Well, actually, I don't like that song.
No, you don't like the market down 1%. If it was up 1%. So you have at the end of the day, what I'm going to get at here eventually is that we have about 10% left of this position, maybe a little bit more, about 13 or 14% left. But here comes, I want to get more right now. So I'm going to get a little bit more. You're going to see me get a little, okay, well, here we go. 383, like 75 break gives us that trade. So there you go. We take some more bids right here, right now. Our average price, 384.30s.
AMD's
so a little bit more down. Yeah, we are lighting it up on the short right now. We're going to try a little bit of a long with Tesla here. Let me put something out at around 50. If we can get something, that'd be nice. But other than that, man, right now we are watching out for not too much more than this. We're out. We want to try the 200 period. It's a level, but there it is. Okay, so we're out. And again, it's like we had the stop order set, so it might have just punched us out at the bottom. It was a break of 75. I can tell you that we got 71s. So maybe the low, maybe not, but that's just following our rules right there. It fell right back in, well prepared for it. I mean, we were getting out up here. We probably had about the same amount of shares there as we got out there. So kind of like a wash by holding it. You know, you never want to have a wash trade, but hey.
A wash trade.
Yeah, wash trade, I was just going to say, like, what I was long.
It's different for a day trader than.
Oh, yeah. I don't mean a wash trade as in, like, I'm hitting myself. What I'm saying is, like, this trade, whatever I was up right there, I just gave back because I told you I was, Randy got the, now you're on air, Randy, there, so he's got the haircut, so he can come in. I was wondering, I was like, where's Randy to go get our coffee? He's like, he's getting a haircut. So, nice one there.
I need to get a haircut.
Nice one there. It looks nice, man. He really, I think he went, did he? Oh, no, that's about normal there. I was looking at it on the TV. Nice cut. Got the beard trim and everything going on over there?
Yeah, I always have my guy trim the beard that I don't have all the time. You know, it's a.
Did our guys at least tell you to say hi to me at least? That's it.
Halim didn't say hi.
Watch that. I'm calling him right now.
Hold on a second. Sean has answered the phone for his barber live while on the air. Has been loyal to Halim as long as, how long? 5 years? 6 years?
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, at least.
6 years?
Hold on. Everyone's going to hear in a second.
Okay.
Can you guys hear this? Can they hear this?
He's probably working.
He is working.
We're working. Okay.
Exactly. I'm going to say what's up to him. I'm calling my barber right here live, the guy that just cut Randy.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man, how's it going? You're live on the air right now. I saw you gave Randy a beautiful haircut, my friend.
Yes, I do. Always.
Yeah, we're live on YouTube right now. Because you know what? I asked Randy, I said, did Halim at least tell you to say hi to me? And he said no. So I was just wondering if we're still friends and everything.
Oh, I didn't say hi to you because I thought you are coming today. That's why.
Okay.
I say hi to you, my friend.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. How are you? How's the family?
Good. The family, everybody is good. How is the YouTubers?
Oh, the YouTubers are really, really great. We're having a great time here right now. I'm going to. Is Ralph around or no?
No, Rafael is not in today.
Yeah, he's not in today.
He's coming on Friday.
Coming
Why?
up. Well, because I was thinking about switching barbers.
Oh, don't. Come on.
Come on Friday, you will switch the barber.
No. I'm just playing around with you. All right, Halim, thank you. Randy looks very handsome and much more handsome than normal. So thank you for giving him.
Hard to do.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm always trying to make you guys looking handsome.
Well, next time try to do it for me. I mean, I come over there. You know, I go in looking one way. I come out.
But I don't want to make you too much handsome, and then other women will jump, and then I'm gonna cause problems with your wife, man.
Very, very valid point, my guy. Very valid point. Halim, I might make this a weekly segment here. This has been a lot of fun. I'll send you the clip and I'll see you very soon. Thank you, and I'll come for another haircut.
You're welcome, my friend.
Okay, ciao.
I love that he pulled it back to you, like, because I thought you were going to come today.
Yeah, I never messaged that guy that I was coming today.
Didn't you, though?
Wow. But anyways,
Didn't
great
you?
guy, Halim. I mean,
Clearly.
yeah. At least he's honest. He said, no, I didn't say hi to you. Yeah, he's right.
When you find a
there you
when
go.
you find a good barber,
Oh, yeah.
y'all know. Everybody knows.
I'm just playing around.
Give him a mohawk.
The guy's a great guy.
I don't think any of us can pull off a mohawk. Sorry,
Oh,
Chad.
man. Mohawk with what? Just a couple hairs going on there? No, but we like that. We just did that for some content there. That was fun. All right. So as that was happening,
Excuse me.
we weren't making or losing any money, so everything is fine. Tesla, our latest trade got us breaking down. So we had to watch out for that. It did break. And what I was explaining there before we saw the handsome gentleman of Randy come through right there was that what I was talking about a wash trade was, so let's just say we had 100 shares left. Well, we got like 50 out up here for basically $1. Some of them were $2. And then that last 50, we basically held all 50 back in and then got out there. So for all the pieces that we got out up here, we basically wash trade. So we go like from making $10 up there to losing $10 down here. So it's just, that's what I meant, that net. On this trade, fine, we made money, but on the last piece that we had, dropped back in. So yeah, anyways, there goes Tesla through that 384. I wish it would have been a little bit of a different situation there, but we tried.
Just I got to answer this one in the
go,
chat. Starburst, great name. I love Starburst.
Yes.
We got way too much Starburst at Halloween this year, so I probably had way too much Starburst because my daughter, she says she loves it, but then Daddy has to eat a bunch of it. I thought you pity the fools. If anyone can pull off a mohawk, it would be you. Well, I'll tell you this right
Valid.
now. If I could actually do a mohawk, see what's not happening here? If I could actually pull off a mohawk, I already would have grown it the entire year and then been like just au naturel, like my real hair, and then done it for Halloween and been Mr. T. Like I'm a bit of the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button. 100%. Like just like when I was Jules for Halloween, like I had to wear. Look, I couldn't. It doesn't grow like it used to. My brother pulls it off, and he's older than me, which I can't. I wish I could do it, but yeah, I love doing fun stuff like that. For Halloween, you want to be doing like the real. If I could do it, just not have to wear a wig. But I would love to go with Mr. T, but I can't grow a mohawk. I'd do something fake if I could, but I feel like next year I do want to try something a little bit different for Halloween because this year I feel like we dropped the ball. Like I liked it, but I wore an old costume because my daughter didn't want me to wear our group costume, and then we didn't have a team costume.
We didn't have a team one, yeah, but
yeah, like I think we.
I don't know. People were liking the hot dog. I know.
I just want to go back to the whole like we have like a theme, which I think is really cool. A couple of things in here. AMD's bouncing nicely, so whether or not AMD is finished being dead for the day, it just bounced off a 130 level for anyone that's trying to look at it. Strong move to the upside. And
right. Adam DeLuce met the barber, by the way.
Yeah, Mara's starting to head down. I got 24.30 is my next bid on Mara, so we took the consolidation short. And again, it's just like literally the exact same thing it did. It bounced, got to 24.75, lower high off 24.60, and then hopefully short right back to the bottom. We'll see what happens here. Darwin, we would never dress. I'll tell you right now, you don't have to worry about me dressing up as Jay-Z or Diddy. That's not going to happen. That's one joke I'm not even trying.
I think that Jay-Z thing is fake, but I don't know.
I don't know what to believe anymore, man. At this point, I heard some. Actually, I just shouldn't say I heard this. I got suggested I was like scrolling YouTube. Literally, I was watching highlights, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And then a video showed up, and it was like the next. If they did like a tell-all about this celebrity, that would be crazy. And it was like Sidney Poitier. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? Like, the guy is like an absolute acting like legend. I'm like, don't tell me like that kind of stuff. So I think it's all.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could be an acting legend.
Who knows what to believe anymore, right? Like, it's exactly the thing. Like, who knows what to believe? All right, Mara's heading to the downside. AMD's catching a bid. Let me know what you guys are trading here. Is there anything else moving?
I'm going to get out of NVIDIA here.
Let me check. Where is that doing?
I mean, I could talk about it. So I'm short NVIDIA.
It's still weak. Under VWAP.
Yeah, it's still under VWAP. It's this 50 period. I'm going to get out if it breaks it. I mean, we're still $1.50 in the money. It was better, which is all. That's all. It was better. And, we didn't take the very bottom. Of course, I'm still pissed off about Tesla because we got out there. Now it's $1.50 higher than where we got out. Like, that's a big difference, honestly. That's too bad. Oh, well. All right. So anyways, yeah, right there, breaking through the 50 period. We're going to get out of NVIDIA. We're still in it from the morning. So good trade, but we're not in it anymore. So if that can come back out, that'd be fine. But it's NVIDIA right now. We'll see where it goes. And if it breaks that, we're going to get out just because it could be a trend change. That's all. All right, SMH, we're still doing pretty good on that one. Yeah, and this is the sort of the womp there for Tesla. Look, comes into the 200 period. We did watch it. We talk about the 200 period a lot. And I mean, like I said, if I didn't mean it, we wouldn't be talking about it. So, I like those levels. Just didn't work out for us, unfortunately, there. And didn't hold. And just like the futures right now do not seem to want to hold the 50 period either. And it looks like NVIDIA, that was going to be our out. That should be a turnaround. You couldn't think about getting short. Right now, at this time of day, though, I would rather wait for VWAP in order to get short anything. The market hasn't really represented this 50 period moving average, and this again is just on a 1 minute chart. I was going to add a 200 minute to this, but it's fine. I'll just look at it on the TQs. But anyways, nice downside move there. VWAP as well. That's what I'd rather wait for. So I'm not going to play the short in the market off this. If you like the short in the market, I would say you can go short any time now and then use the 50 period as you're out. If it breaks, it's held it basically for an hour and a bit. Ever since we broke that, we tried to get back there within the first 10 minutes. Didn't happen. Just tried again. Didn't happen. So yeah. I mean, I got to say that looks pretty good for that short, and we just bounced off of that as well. This could give us an opportunity to reload Tesla if we thought that was going to be an opportunity. Looks like 83 would be that bottom. One missed opportunity for myself, and we could talk about it. We have C3AI, we have Oracle, we have Mongo. Those are all going to be tonight.
AI?
MDB is the most recent one there. The previous move for C3AI was minus 9%. The implied move on that is 17.
Yeah, that's
so that's C3AI. Yeah, Dara has since updated our little notebook here. So that's the move there for C3AI, and what a move it's been. You know, like 17%. That might not even look that much like a blip here. Like you're going to go down what? On $42, so if you lose 20, that's $8, so 35, 36, so $38 or so. For 17, that's just back into there. Or you really take off on this. This looks like they liked C3AI. Seems like it could beat. I would say, I don't know. I don't like names that are too far away from there. But okay, now that this loads up, I see this now, which may be a problem.
Well, hold on.
All right, C3AI is short around $50, but you got to get there first, right?
17% from the 42 is that 50.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's actually, look, I think it's, whenever that happens, it's almost exactly the move to a major support or resistance. I usually think if you happen to be trading it, you play it off of that level as opposed to praying it's going to break it out in the aftermarket.
Right. That's what I was saying. Play the short maybe off that 50 if it does come in.
I believe we're going to the desk with Adara, take care of some business.
Okay.
The show is brought to you by Worksport, introducing a new discovery on the NASDAQ. Worksport, ticker WKSP. Worksport is a US-based manufacturer and is rapidly expanding with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off-grid. Whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, Worksport has you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP. Discover the future of clean energy with Worksport. Back to you.
I saw on Worksport.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we were talking about C3AI a little bit, but I saw Worksport was adding, and this was a true story last week. I saw that they were adding Bitcoin, honestly, to their balance sheet. So find out more about that. I don't want to misreport. Okay, congratulations. There it is. Yeah. So.
I wasn't hitting that because I knew that to be true.
No, I'm pretty sure. I definitely.
I trust you.
I'm 100% sure that was reported on. Yeah.
Those are little Bitcoins. Yes. That's why I hit that key.
Yeah. I don't even have that button actually. This was a nice one that was relatively new. I like the Money Storm. That's about the only new one I have. And then
I want to.
Fabian
a Doge one.
Do something. I keep hearing Doge all the time now. They're very, very smart. Like I was listening to CNBC, they're like Doge this and Doge that. They mean the government, Department of Government Efficiencies.
Yes.
And I'm just like, Dogecoin?
You know what's crazy?
But that's smart. I mean, that's obviously why they do that.
There was
use the bathroom soon.
I'm old, and but I don't remember the name of the commission, but this happened before. I think it was I think it was during the Reagan years that they had, like, there was, not to go into politics, but for anyone thinks
crypto was really bumping.
When anyone thinks that there's a really good chance to be like some big sharp cuts and you're worrying about like military spending coming down, how's my Lockheed Martin going to look for an investment or anything like that? No, they tried this with a commission like a while back and it accomplished, there actually wasn't any drop in government spending because it's too big of a deal. And I think that matters. Like if you look at the targets that they have for how much they want to be able to cut, it's like it's completely impossible to do without major cuts to some of the things that never get cut, like the mandatory spending. It's like mandatory spending or military spending. And I think if you're looking at, because I have my eyeballs, I've said it before, on Lockheed Martin, right? And this one, you look at this chart, like it is pulled back a nice 20% move into the 200 period moving average, which generally speaking on a good stock is like a go zone type of level, and it's about to make, I think, a bit of a trend reversal. It looks like it's setting up there. But if you're concerned about them cutting, it's like they never really accomplish that much. I think it is this is a name worth watching there for sure. There is I don't see, wait a minute, okay. I just saw Tisha Perkins say CHSN is halted to the upside. Yeah, why didn't this hit my halt scanner?
CHSN, huh?
You know what? Oh, never mind. It's done 72,000 shares in volume.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure the halt scanner I have up has a volume minimum, of which a stock doing 72,000 is not going to be able to make it. If it's, that's way too low on volume. So this is halted up. Or I'll give you the tap's $12. It's halted at 10.34. But if you've only done 72,000 in volume, that is an absolute no-fly zone for me. So it looks like just a volatility halt. I did reload Rivian pretty much at the same levels before, but every time I've been in this stock actually it's not true. Like I was about to say with one exception, every time I've been in the long, it's worked, and then I eventually stop out some, and then
boy.
it's worked, and then stop out some. So I just reloaded. It's the first time it's actually not bouncing there. But the only position we put on other than that is MAR, which continues to go down. I'm now just bidding in front of the 24 level here on MAR. So it gave us the move into the quarters, and now we're looking for the push all the way down to the even dollar on the 24 half short here in MARA. Bitcoin back down to 97,000.
A little bit of a floss there. So we just took another shot here. I don't know. I mean, hopefully, let's get another piece out here at 40s if we can. Didn't realize how annoying that. All right, so there it is, 384.40s. We're long now. We got actually a little bit below 383.90s. That's kind of a play that I'm doing now. If I don't think the level's that key, I wait for the level to break. It's only 10 cents. It's not like it's so tricky, but it does break down there. We get 90s instead of O's, and now it rips back up, and we take some more out at the 200 periods, 50 cents. Like, this is the thing. For many different styles of trading, 50 cents would not be very much, but especially on Tesla, it's $385 stock. We're going to now hold on. So now we're out of half. I'm out of half of the reload for 50 cents. And that's at the 200 period moving average, so fine. Now, like I was talking about the wash trade, I'm putting more risk onto this now. So we just took 50 cent winner. We're going to give this to 383, which is what I was trying to do in the first place. Let's just see if it holds. We can reload it down there if we need to. But it's a good chance into the close, right? We're still NVIDIA and SMH. Those are the only positions that we have on right now with this Tesla trade. So if there's anything else you guys want us to, it does remind me, what's up, Erie Pages? It does remind me of a Nintendo, that almost like a Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
No, isn't it? It's the game with the pad.
Pong?
No, they had an Olympics game where you remember the pad where you would run.
Yes.
You'd run on the pad and you jump for the hurdles and the long jump. I forget the name of it, but that was the sound.
Track and field.
Was it just called track and field?
I think Nintendo. Yeah.
I never had it. I was a Sega Genesis. Also, I had an Atari. Legitimate. I'm not making that up.
Yeah, I had ColecoVision. So that's, people probably don't even know what that is. All right, here goes. I'm gonna try to take $1 on the next little.
You're the only person I know that had that.
Coleco, yeah, it was sick. My dad was somewhat into that stuff. Nice. Okay, so 3. All right. Well, I mean, we're still just 50 cents, so let's just make it easy. 384. There's really nothing here. I always thought I'd look at 384 and be like, wow, 384 is something. I guess it is. Yeah, 384.50. What am I long at? Yeah, I'm just long right here, right now. Yeah, so that's the 200 period. So we just wicked up there again and failed off of that. Futures are kind of just lazy right here, not doing too much. So a little bit nervous now about this long, I would say, just a little bit, because we're not going. So that'll be something to look at here. Not much else happening on this side of things right here. Just going long that name, short the other two, waiting for something to happen with Tesla. We just talked a little bit about I was going to talk about DraftKings. Uber is interesting because Uber right now just went above VWAP. So if you want to look at Uber just real quickly here, we have this play to come. Let me zoom this. Oopsie, zoom it the other way. You'll see where VWAP is right there. So Uber does have this chance. Again, though, a story that's relatively negative, right? We haven't really liked Uber the last couple days because of Waymo, and now you get that lesser car for Tesla. I think that's a benefit for Uber, but we'll wait to see where we go. So I would say maybe Uber breaking through down VWAP, maybe downside, but again, it's stronger than the market. So I like the stock. Where we would buy this is getting close. I said I think it's, and I'm going to take another stab at this.
54.
Yeah, right into here. No, 54.
The August low.
Nice. Oh, well, yeah, that'd be great. No, I want to buy it even earlier than that. I was going to go into here, 62, 63, this 60-ish area. So that might be tomorrow. We may buy some Uber. So good move there on Uber last little days if you're looking to get long. I don't know. You never want more competition. That's for sure.
It's bugging me that I can't remember it right now, but there was a stock that I looked at. I was going through charts this morning, and there was one name I looked at. I'm like, that August low. And it was like the August low comes in, and I'm going to want to buy it, and it's really bugging me. I feel like I've gone through every single thing that I think it could be, and I can't remember it. Those August lows, and I have a chart of MSTR up. That's not going to help at all. Maybe I should just pull up an Uber one. I was going to mention MSTR because there's a lot of questions about it there. But those August lows, I think that when you have a complete panic level, right? Like everyone's scared the futures are going to be limit down at the open. People are thinking it's Black Monday. That's the kind of atmosphere that we had that morning. You had Apple was at $190 something, and everything that made that bottom. I don't know, Uber wasn't the company, but I think when you get down to levels where people were buying in the most panic imaginable, that's if you're not willing to buy a stock or take a trade off the stock at that kind of a support level, then you don't like the stock. Because to me, if you see those, they're fantastic. It was MSTR that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, like I like Mara because of the price level that it curled at and all that kind of good stuff as Bitcoin hit back down, not underneath 97,000 again. MSTR has a not good looking wedge forming. And what I mean by that is like you've got higher, in a general sense, you do have higher lows, but if you look at the lower highs, it's much more steep. I don't care where you decide to draw it from, it's much more steep. And a loss of this trend, to me, the 50 period is a monster low, just 270 to 280 area. It was a big breakout price. It's the 50 period as well. I think if this loses this trend support, you could really start to head back in. So if we do, like if we were to test 90,000 in Bitcoin, this is going down here on MSTR. As for today, all I can tell you is it already broke the low of the day. And there's this support down at like 360-ish bucks. So it's definitely trending down. Nothing good about it recently. I think the last buy, did he buy anything over 100,000 or was the last buy 98.6?
Yeah, I think he said, I mean, the report we had earlier today was buying at 98.
Yeah, it was 98.6. I don't think he's actually bought over 100K, but
$2 billion worth or something like that.
They're loading it up. It's absolutely loading it up. I didn't mean to go to NVIDIA. That's weird. I went to type in Mar. Mar's about to get that 24 level, which is the low. This is the target zone for me. Like this is where support's been on Mara. Kind of was looking for a mean reversion play back into one of these levels, but if we get 24, we're going to jump out. Smurvin 11, thoughts on AMD short through 130? Man, it's already bounced.
Smurvin, eh?
Well, S Mervin 11.
Yeah.
Maybe you meant S Mervin. Like maybe your name is Sean Mervin.
Smurvin is nice.
But Smurvin 11.
Smooth Smurvin Mervin.
Number 11, George Bell.
All right.
But 130.
Jorge Bell.
I hesitate to want to long.